Okay, so last class we stopped at this point. Remember? Vz was V0 plus e to the power of minus gamma z plus gamma, capital gamma, e to the power of gamma z. And Iz was V0 plus z0 e to the power of minus gamma z minus the e to the power of gamma z. This is where we stopped. What was gamma? What was capital gamma? What was capital gamma? What was capital gamma? We discussed in the last class.
Reflection coefficient.
Yes, it was reflection coefficient. Whose value was Zl minus Z0 divided by Zl plus Z0. We discussed this. Okay. And small gamma was alpha plus G, where alpha was attenuation constant whose value was given by vapors per meter, and beta was phase constant whose value was given in radians per meter. Okay. And finally, what was Z0? Z0 was square root of R plus j omega L by G plus j omega C. This was called the characteristic impedance of the line. So these were the things we discussed in the last week's class. Okay. Now we continue from this point. Okay, so far my voice is audible. My voice is audible. Is my voice audible? Okay, fine, great. Now the first topic of today is lossless. Okay. Last week we modeled the line this way. This was R delta x, this was L delta x, this was C delta x, and this was G delta x. Now, obviously, as we had seen in our basic electrical class, that an ideal inductor and an ideal capacitor, they do not consume any power from the AC circuit. Okay, this we had seen in the basic electrical class. So, whatever power is lost by the line, that has to do with this and this. Whatever power is lost in the line, that has to do with the R, the resistance per unit length, and the conductance per unit length of the line. Because inductor and capacitor, they will not consume any power. Okay, is it okay? Now for a lossless line, lossless lines are obviously hypothetical, because every practical line must have some loss. But assume that for a lossless line, this and this do not exist. In a lossless line, there is no resistance, there is no conductance. So what is it? It is simply an inductor and a capacitor. Okay, and goes on. So what is Z0 for a lossless line? For a lossless line, what is Z0? This was Z0 for a general line. So for lossless line, what will be the value of Z0?
1.
Right. How what?
R and G 0,
And
then
0.
it will be
Okay.
root over j omega c by j omega c.
If R and G is 0, note that G omega also gets cancelled.
Sorry, L, root over L by c.
Root over L by C, yes. This is independent of frequency, as there is no omega or f term. Okay. Also notice that we have defined small gamma as alpha plus j beta. What was this? What was this? Just note that.
Attenuation.
Attenuation constant. Attenuation when a signal gets attenuated due to loss. If I send a signal, obviously there will be losses. As a result, signal will get attenuated. Now, if there is no loss, will there be an attenuation? If there is no loss in the line, will there be an
No, sir.
attenuation? No. So this also goes out. So gamma is now a totally Cayley number given by j beta. Is it fine? For a lossless line, alpha is 0, so gamma is j beta. Okay? Fine? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how will our equations of V and I look like now? V will be, sorry, Vz will be V0 plus e to the power of j beta z plus gamma j beta z, and Iz will be V0 plus Z0 e to the power of minus j beta z minus gamma e to the power of j beta z. Is it okay? Because now we can safely replace gamma by j beta because alpha is 0. Okay. Now, for the rest of the discussion, we will assume the line is lossless. Okay. For the remaining part of the discussion, we will assume the line is lossless. Now, let us consider a lossless transmission line, okay, which has a characteristic impedance of Z0. And there is a lumped load here whose impedance is 0. This point is Z equal to 0. Okay. And this is the plus Z axis. Now, at this point, we would like to calculate the value of Z of minus. The value of Z at this point is minus. Okay. To understand the question first, did you understand the question?
Please
No, sir.
repeat the question.
Sure. First thing, let us assume that we have a lossless transmission line of characteristic impedance of Z0. Fine. Okay. First step is okay. First step is we assume that we have a transmission line whose lossless transmission line whose characteristic impedance is Z0. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Okay. Second step is at the end of this transmission line, we have connected a lumped load of impedance Z. Okay. This load here, this load here. Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yes.
Now we denote the point where the load is connected to be Z equal to 0. We assume that that point is the origin. Okay. And see the direction of the plus Z axis. Okay. It is opposite to the line. Right. Now our problem is we would like to find the input impedance of the line seen from an arbitrary point whose coordinate Z coordinate is minus of, or we need to find Z of L minus L. Is the question clear? Before you answer. Is the question clear? In Thevenin's equivalent, what did you find? Suppose we had to find some R Thevenin. This is our circuit. We need to find some R Thevenin. This is my RL. So we had to short circuit the source and then find this looking from here. This is similar, although we is not Thevenin similar. It is similar. We are finding the resistance looking from the point Z equal to minus L towards the line. Is it clear? Is the problem clear? Is the problem clear?
Yes, sir.
Then only we can try to solve it. what is V at the point V of minus L? If this is VL, V at the point of Z. If this is V at the point of Z, what is the value of V at the point of minus L? First question. What will
V of plus
V
e
of?
to the power
So this
the
will
V
be there.
V
Yes, this will be there, and
e to the power j beta
uh, J beta L plus gamma e to the power of minus J beta. Simply replace Z by minus L. Simply replace Z by minus L. That's it. Similarly, I of minus L will now be V0 plus Z0 e to the power of J beta L minus of gamma e to the power of minus J beta. So can we say that Zin at point minus L is simply V of minus L by I of minus L? That is, the V0 gets cancelled, Z0 E of J beta L plus lambda gamma e to the power of minus J beta L e to the power of J beta L minus gamma e to the power of minus J beta L. Is this question, is this okay? Is this step fine? See the V0 plus term gets cancelled from both V and I. Is this step okay?
yes sir.
Okay. Now let us use the fact that gamma is equal to, from our definition, ZL minus Z0, ZL plus 0, Z0. This is the way we had defined gamma. So let us replace this value here, and so if we do that, our equation becomes Z of minus L, that is equal to Z0. I jump one step, ZL plus Z0 e to the power of J beta L plus ZL minus Z0 e to the power of minus J beta L. ZL plus Z0 e to the power of J beta L minus ZL minus Z0 e to the power of minus J beta L. Is this step okay? Is this step okay? Is it fine? We have simply replaced gamma by this guy. Can we write that? Write it this way?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes sir.
Now let us segregate the terms containing ZL and Z0. How do we? Let us segregate terms containing ZL and Z0 outside Z0 stay as we cannot do anything about it. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Yes sir.
Okay. Now we use the very old identities that sine theta is equal to e to the power of j theta minus e to the minus j theta by 2j, or 2j sine theta that is equal to e to the power of j theta e to the power of minus j theta, and cos theta power of j theta e to the power of minus j theta. Okay. Or 2 cos theta that is equal to e to the power of j theta. This we know from maths class. From our maths class we know this thing, very common identity. So see, the e to the power of j beta plus this can be replaced by sine and cos accordingly. This can be replaced by sine and cos accordingly. So let us try doing it. Z0, and I am cancelling the 2, okay? The 2 will get cancelled from numerator. So this will be cos beta L plus Z0. This will be J sin beta L by JZL sin beta L plus Z0 cos beta L. Can we write this? The 2 gets cancelled from numerator denominator, so I am not writing 2. If you write 2, that will get cancelled. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, final and last step is we simply divide the numerator denominator by cos. That's the final step. So, Z in of minus L, that is Z0, ZL plus JZ0 tan beta L by Z0 plus JZL tan beta L. This is the final expression of input impedance as seen from the point. Is this okay? All the steps are fine. If there's any doubt in any step, you can ask. Or you want to see any step again, you want to roll back, I will be happy. Is it okay, or if I any doubt regarding any step? Is this expression fine? Is this expression okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So let us consider some special cases. Special case number 1. Special case number 1. Z0 equal to 0. So what is Z0 equal to 0? Just put Z0 equal to 0 in the formula and see what you get. Or it is matched. What happens now?
So that will be equal to ZL.
Or yes, that will be the ZL or equal to Z0 because they are same. Okay. So see things. Number 1, Zin of minus L is now independent of L. There is no L in the right hand side. Is it okay? Zin of minus L is now totally independent of L. Can we say that? Can we say that?
Yes, sir.
It is constant. So, in the case where Zin equal to Z0, no matter from where we see it, the input impedance always looks constant to us, and that value is nothing but Z0 or Z. Fine. Okay. And this is understandable because for matched load, this gamma is 0. What was gamma? ZL minus Z0 by ZL plus Z0. If ZL equal to Z0, then gamma equal to 0. Okay. Is it okay? Gamma was ZL minus Z0, ZL plus Z0. If ZL equal to Z0, gamma is 0. If gamma is 0, then these components vanish. And if you divide, you will simply get Z0. Right? If you divide, you will simply get Z0 from this expression as well. So, at matched transmission line, no matter from whichever point you are looking at it, you will find the same impedance, and that impedance is Z0. Is it clear? Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now let us do the second special case. This is even more interesting. Special case number 2. ZL equal to 0 or line is shorted. What is gamma? What is gamma? What is gamma?
Sir, -1.
-1. Excellent. So gamma is -1. Now see the and let us find the value of Zin of minus L. So we had seen that Z0, ZL plus JZ0 tan beta L by Z0 plus JZL tan beta L. This equation is okay. This was okay. Now what happens if ZL is 0? If ZL is 0, this will go out. This will go out. If ZL is 0, these two terms will not stay there because they are 0. So what is Z minus of minus L? Simply JZ0 tan beta L. Will you get this value? Will you get this value? For ZL equal to 0.
Yes, sir.
See the, just draw the line. Just draw the line. This is shorted now, so I'm not drawing any more. Just shorting it. This point was Z equal to 0 from our assumption. This was Z axis, and this point here L. This point is our L. Z equal to. Now you see that Zing of minus L, we can just calculate it to JZ0 tan of beta L. So what is Zing of 0? What is Zing of 0?
0.
0. This is totally expected because we have shorted the line. So obviously at the load we will get a 0 value. Clear? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Zin is 0. Zin 0 is 0. This is totally expected because we had shorted the line. So obviously we will get 0 at the load point. Okay. What happens now? Now, if you move in the direction of minus Z axis, we will find that now, if you plot now we attempt to plot Zin of minus L by Z0 along the line. Okay, we are plotting this Zin of minus L by Z0. So at A, Z equal to 0, it is 0. We agreed on that. We agreed on that.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you move along, then it will follow a tan curve and increase like this. How does a tan curve look like? If this is my theta and this is my tan theta, so tan theta curve looks like this. Remember from trigonometry, this point is pi by 2, this point is 0, sorry pi, this point is pi, and this way. Remember, this point is 3 pi by 2. Again, this point is 2 pi. Remember this curve from your basic trigonometry class, tan theta. Do you remember this curve, tan theta curve? I am simply plotting tan theta with respect to theta. So we'll get a curve like this. Is it okay or not?
Okay, sir.
Just check, just give a for PC, just give a search the tan theta curve. At pi by 2, tan theta is infinite. Well known. At pi it is 0. At 3 pi by 2 it is once again infinite. Right? So if we move, it will follow the same tan theta curve because it has a tan relationship. It goes here. Something like this, and at z equal to lambda by 4. If you plot z equal to lambda, L equal to lambda by 4 here, then you will find that tan theta becomes pi by 2 or it becomes infinite. Right? So see the fun. Here it is short circuited. But at this point, if I see from at this point, the short circuited line, it looks like it is open circuited to us. Did you get this point or not? Did you get this point or not? If I see at a distance of lambda by 4 from the load, the short circuited line, it looks as if it is open circuited. It's a very, very critical issue. Do you understand it or not? If you don't understand, I will repeat. No problem. Is it? Or not? Tell me. This is something fascinating. When I saw this first time when my teacher explained these things to me, I was also equally fascinated as you were. But how can a shorted line be open circuit? But it is actually happening. And there are more fun actually. I will tell you just continue. But did you understand this? That although the line is physically short circuited, at a distance of lambda by 4 from the load, it appears to us that it is actually open circuit. Do you understand this or not?
Sir, is it because of when we put z equal to lambda by 4,
Yes, it
tan beta
becomes
L becomes
infinite.
and pi by 2?
Yes, tan pi by 2 and tan pi by 2 is infinite. Right? We know that from geometry. Tan 90 degrees is infinite. Right?
And yes, sir, and the impedance become infinite.
Exactly.
I mean,
And if the impedance becomes infinite, what does this suggest? This is an open circuit.
okay, sir.
Yes. So, although it is physically shorted, at a particular distance from this short, it appears to be as an open circuit. Do you get this issue? Do you get this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then again, we will follow the term tan curve. It goes like this.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, is it only possible for the infinitesimal small portion of the transmission line?
No. I am doing this for the finite lengths. This is not infinite length small function. I am measuring at different points along the line. You understand the problem? I am not using that small infinite limit. I am doing it for the whole line. The lambda can be finite value. So this is lambda by 4. So lambda by 4 may not be infinite.
Okay.
Okay. This equation is like this, just like this. Sorry. The equation is just like this. The equation is just like this. So it is for a general line, not line infinitesimal function. At that point, although the line is physically shorted, it will appear to us to be an open circuit. Okay. Then again see at z equal to lambda by 2, tan beta L becomes tan of pi, that is 0. So at z equal to lambda by 2, it looks as if it is short circuited once more. Is it clear? At z equal to lambda by 2, beta L is equal to pi and tan pi is equal to 0. So at that point, it looks as if it is shorted once again. Is this okay? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now what happens in between? What happens here? What happens here? Here, the load is complex, clearly. Not complex, it's purely imaginary. The load here is purely imaginary, of course, because it is J times something. It is a purely imaginary number. Is it clear? Okay. Z in L is J times something. J times Z0 tan beta L. Now Z0 tan beta L is real. What was Zin? Zin of minus L is equal to J Z0 tan beta L. This is real. This is real, but this is purely imaginary. So this entire thing, this will be purely imaginary. Is no real part here. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Z in L, this is a purely imaginary number, and that value of the number is greater than 0. Clearly, you can see the value of this number is greater than 0. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Is it? Now, what is the input impedance here? F is, suppose F is given. F is given. What is the input impedance here? The input source is a sinusoidal source of frequency F or omega, whatever. What is the input impedance here from the basic class?
J omega.
J omega L. Here also, it is purely imaginary and greater than 0. The value of the imaginary part is greater than 0. Omega is greater than 0. L is also greater than 0. Is it okay? Is it correct? Here
Yes.
also, it is purely imaginary and the imaginary part is greater than 0 because omega is greater than 0. L is greater than 0. Agreed? So, can we say that in between these 2 points, it appears as an inductive load?
Yes.
Between point 0 to lambda by 4, the transmission line, it appears like an inductive load. And using the same logic, between here to here, it appears as a capacitive load. Because now it is purely imaginary but less than 0. So see, although the line is open short circuited, it may behave like a purely short, an inductive load, an open circuit, and a capacitive load. And then again the cycle will repeat. Is this very crucial thing clear?
Can you explain this capacitive load?
Sure. Here, at this point, it is purely imaginary and less than 0 from the curve,
Yes, sir.
right?
Okay.
And what is the input impedance here in this case? Purely this is 1 by G omega C.
J omega.
Yes.
Sorry, 1 by G omega C. So it's minus J by omega C. It is negative and purely imaginary.
Yes.
It appears as a capacity. Okay. These things we will use as stubs to measure. So this is okay. The shorted transmission line, it can behave as a short, an inductive load, an open, or a capacitive load, depending on where we are seeing it. Is this point clear? Okay. Finally, we look at our third and final special case. There is also where our open circuited also case becomes cot theta. You can, if you want, you can read it from Pozar, otherwise not. In microwave engineering 7th semester, I don't know who will teach you, but he will take this in much. I am just teaching you whatever is given. Okay. Special case 3. ZL is not 0, but L is equal to lambda by 4. Then what happens? I am repeating the ZL value for your confidence. Now what happens? We take that ZL is now not 0 and L is now lambda by 4. What happens? Just as we said just now, this becomes infinite at lambda by 4.
Yes.
Okay, but we do not want infinite by infinite. Okay, those things become cumbersome. So instead of that, we do a little bit of manipulation and we write it in this. Can we write it this way? Can we write the same thing in this way?
Yes.
Okay. Now if tan beta L becomes infinite, cot beta L will become 0 because tan and cot are reciprocal of each other. If tan beta L is infinite, cot beta L will be 0. So this is Z0 square by ZL. Right? So keep this in mind. Because we use this for matching a load called quarter-wave transform. This thing is for quarter-wave transform. This is also used in interface. Very easily, if you can find a line with a given Z0 or Z0 was square root of Zin of minus L by Zl. Okay, this is the fundamental principle of something called a quarter-wave transform. Okay, and this is used to match loads very easily, provided you can manufacture lines with a given Z0 which follows this equation. But the disadvantage is that you can find Z0 for all cases. Also, this is very frequency dependent. Okay. Sorry, somebody said something. Hello. I think
Please
that
repeat the last word.
last what? This quarter-wave transform.
Yes,
Just
the
see
quote.
this equation from here. From this we can. This we are getting just from this. If this is true, then what is Z0? It will be square root of Zin minus L by time Z. Okay. Now, if I need to match, suppose I have a ZL and a line Z0. ZL is now not 0. ZL is now not equal to 0. Now, if I choose by Z0 in such a way that Z0 equal to Zin times ZL, then at quarter wave what will happen? Here I will see whatever Zin we desire. If we choose this to be this, then Zin of minus lambda by 4, this will be simply Zin. Or we can have whatever Zin we desire depending on the value of Z0. Okay, this is one way of impedance matching. We will not do this, but it is called a quarter-wave transform matching. It has several. It's a very simple, but it has several disadvantages. Okay. Okay, so I close this session, and we will continue next session. Meanwhile, let me. Okay, thank you.